So welcome to the College and Prep Feature Spotlight Series. At College and Prep, we are so excited to work with families and help them navigate the sometimes overwhelming waters of the admissions process because they're looking for the schools that are the best fit and where their children are going to thrive. And we're really excited tonight to be speaking with Karl Koenigsbauer, the Associate Director of Admissions and Financial Aid at Eaglebrook School in Deerfield, Mass. Welcome, Karl. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me and letting me share a little bit more about Eaglebrook.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, we often get on school websites and start looking at things and get a sense of the school and sort of the elevator speech, if you will. But maybe some of the people who are watching today have not had a chance to do so. So I was wondering if you could start with just giving us an overview of who Eaglebrook is and the type of students that you find there.
Yeah. So I think what makes Eaglebrook special is the fact that we know boys. We are a junior boarding school for boys, so 6th grade through 9th grade. We really specialize in that area. And so by specializing, we allow them to have a solid balance between their program. And we give them a wide variety of opportunities. I always love working with kids in the admissions process, and I ask them what they're going to be when they grow up. And 9 times out of 10, it's some professional athlete. And we get them in here and we expose them to all these different opportunities and activities. And they still want to probably leave and think that they might have an opportunity to play at the pro level, but they now are also playing an instrument or finding an art that they like or a subject that they never really knew about before. So we just are able to add so many more layers to who they are and give them that confidence to maybe shed the sports a little bit more and go in a different direction, which is really cool. We do that again by just creating a really safe environment for our boys to be boys, while also trying to figure out who they are and where they live, where they are in their journey. So it's a pretty cool spot here.
Yeah, and it's such a beautiful campus, having been there. It's easy to see that sense of community when you go onto the campus at Eaglebrook, but they are really young still. And I'm wondering, if you get asked, why would I send my kid to your school so young? What do you tell parents when they're looking at schools for their boys and trying to sort of wrestle with that question a bit?
Yeah, we get that question all the time. So I kind of joke, I say it's my mission in life to flip that question from why would you to how could you not? And I think that we do that by asking really the family, what would they want in their ideal educational environment for their kid? And so oftentimes I get the answer that it's, teachers that really know my child, or a robust curriculum, balance between friends, sports, and other interests, limited distractions from technology, a place where they can be a kid yet prepare for their future. And then I always flip it too and ask, well, what are the stressors at home for you? And number one is usually getting them out the door. And then, the other one is usually driving them from all over the state for sports or for clubs or tutoring or whatever it might be. And then finally, it's usually keeping on top of them academically, whether it's helping them with assignments at the dining room table or making sure that they have what they need. So, so those are the things that we kind of talk about. And I say, well, if we could do all of that and more, how could you not send your kid to that environment? And so that's my approach to it. I know it's a big commitment, and it's not the right fit for everyone, but the parents that usually come back after asking that question, if their son has been here, only takes usually about till our parents' weekend in October, which for them to see a difference. And I think what is really special is what's most nervous wracking for them is losing a relationship with their son. And again, those parents come back in October. We're just about to have our parents' weekend next week, and they just say that it's a more robust conversation I'm able to have with my son. Or they go home for vacation and they're like, oh yeah, let me clear the table, this is what we have to do at school. And just again, the maturity level just kind of increases immediately. And whether it's just time spent away from them, or if it's the fact that we're instilling some of these things, for whatever reason, they do see a change, and they see a change in their relationship. And everyone always says it's for the positive.
Right. And you talked, about how a lot of boys come in really thinking that they're going to be, the next LeBron James or, next quarterback for the Pats, and that they start picking up some other interests. In terms of your academics, what do your teachers do? How do they really engage those students and help them move forward and broaden their horizons academically?
Yeah, I think the first thing is we have our 5 core classes, and those are pretty set. Those are going to be the classes that take all year long. Within that, even for our sciences, we have a couple different avenues they can take in 8th and 9th grade. For history, we have history electives, which are year-long courses, but they're kind of catered to the interests of the teacher, and then also the students get to sign up for it too. So I think that there's a little bit of pick your own adventure within the core classes. But then there's also, we have an awesome elective program. So you have 7 classes you're signed up for, 5 of those core classes, 2 electives, and those are 1 trimester classes. And that's where our students just get to discover really who they are in terms of, trying fly fishing for the first time. We have a wood shop. We have a number of design classes, music classes, and really whatever our teachers want to offer, they're allowed to. And so kids really get a wide range of those different choices. So I think, me as a middle schooler, and I went to Eaglebrook, so I took Relax and Read, and I hated reading at the time, but I started to kind of find out some genres of books that I liked then, and we still have it now, and it's one of the most popular classes where kids just, their schedules are so busy they don't have time to set aside for reading, and we allow that for those guys that really like it. So kind of it's endless in the choices they have. And then I think our faculty are all triple threats. So they're teachers, they're advisors, they're dorm parents, and they're coaches. And I know that's not 3, but that's what we kind of call it. And so they're going to know their students well beyond just the 45-minute math class. They're going to see them in the dining room. They're going to be on the sidelines for a soccer game or a basketball game or whatever it might be. And so they're going to see them in a whole different area, or, at a piano recital. So, being able to congratulate a student for a performance outside their classroom as they're walking in, just shows allows that student to know that person cares beyond just the classroom. So I think that really helps us, get the most out of our students, especially in the academic day.
Yeah, and it makes such a difference to any middle school or any student really to feel like they're known by their teachers. And how does that get reflected back to the parents so that they get to see that interaction or understand that interaction a little bit better?
Yeah. So I think that we do a nice job of balancing, the partnership with the parents while also not allowing the parents to have like too much involvement. So we want them to, we want our students to gain that independence. And that might mean that they're going to fall down every once in a while, and that's okay. That's where they're going to learn. So we have plenty of hands on campus to pick them up and dust them off and ask them what they've learned and see if they're going to, try not to do it in the same way next time. But at the same time, we are, actively engaging with the parents, and that primarily happens through our advisors. I always kind of explain it to my parents, my advisees' parents, that it's a triangle of communication. So there's a student at one point, the advisor, and the parents. And as long as information is flowing through all 3 points, there's really no challenge or obstacle that we can't overcome during the year. It's when one of those pieces of the triangle gets left out that we start to encompass some difficulties. So we work really hard to make sure that the parents are in the loop. We send a lot of pictures because that's nice and easy. So constantly texting pictures to my advisees' parents. And then also for our new students, we just finished a couple weeks ago writing a transition letter for them. So just telling the family, in a full page letter, how they're transitioning each part of life. And then we do it for our returning students a week later. So there's lots of correspondence that go on back home. And if there's ever a concern, we want to try and build the self-advocacy. So we want the students to try and find their way and learn the support network. But I always joke, I tell my my parents, you know, if their son calls and says that they're having a problem, support them and love them, because they're going to trust you and you've built that over the last 13 years. But then ask them who they've talked to at school, and if it's no one, then ask them who they're going to go ask, and ask them to come talk to us, and then get off the phone or the Zoom and call us or email us and say, hey, he's hopefully heading down the hall to talk to you about this issue. And when he forgets because he got distracted by a friend in the hallway, we know that we can kind of prompt them or something like that, so the conversation's taking place. So again, just that's a kind of prime example of how that triangle works.
Right. And that's how we know as parents, right, that it's going well, is that we don't hear from our kids.
Of course. I love that call of like, is he still enrolled? Like, he didn't leave? Like, no, he's having a lot of fun. I'll go get him out of his friend's room and make sure he calls you this evening. So yeah, that's when you know it's working.
Awesome. So when these parents, call you and start the conversation, I'm sure there are sort of your frequently asked questions, but what are the things that you really wish parents knew as sort of their entry point? What would you love them to know about Eaglebrook before they even really start looking?
Yeah, I think to kind of go in eyes wide open. I think that Eaglebrook is so specialized in the fact that we're a middle school for boys, but we're also, no two of our boys are the same, and we've worked with thousands of boys over the years. And so I just think that, allow them to have their own experience. And, it's okay to kind of nudge them in a direction or whatnot. And advisors, we can help do that as well. But kind of, I think it's such a pivotal stage of their development that they really need to be able to figure it out on their own. And so even though you might have hopes that they're going to continue with piano lessons, let them try the guitar. And maybe, if guitar fails for them, now they've checked that box and they feel like they've been able to do it, and on their own they might gravitate back to piano. We see that all the time. I think also, and just to use my own experience, I came into Eaglebrook loving soccer, and that was going to be what was going to drive me the rest of the life. And my advisor in my 7th grade year handed me a lacrosse stick, and it totally changed my sports focus. So I think that happens all the time. And I think just allowing them to be who they are and discover who they are will kind of tease out some of those different things that the parents don't even know is like in their kids, which I think is really fun.
Yeah, that is fun. I love that part. So as we don't have a ton of time left, but I would love to know about any particular programs that you're really excited about this year, or things going on campus.
Yeah. So I didn't know this until actually last night. So we have an outside speaker series for our Wednesday evening programs. We don't have any homework on Wednesday nights, so it flips flops between home night, where you have dinner with your advisee group and some kind of activity, and then on the other ones it's what we call Hilly Chase, and that's like our outside speaker. And because we're in our 100th year, the whole series is done by our alumni. And the one last night, we have a ski hill, and that's obviously a unique program for us. But he was a film independent film director who spoke to our boys last night and did a lot on skiing and the history of skiing, and just understanding how kind of our faculty from the early years were so pinnacle in the ski program, from helping start the United States Ski Patrol program to just really bringing alpine skiing to a forefront in the United States. So I think that was really cool, and that spotlighted our ski program. And just kind of timing was perfect, because we just put some lights on it this summer so we could have a little bit more of a robust and more time out on the ski hill this winter. So I would say that one is one. I think that's a prime example just to really show the breadth of our sports offerings. We have something really for anyone, and we have different levels, so you don't have to come in with previous knowledge in order to try a sport at Eaglebrook. I think the other piece is our outdoor program. We were founded by Howard Gibbs to connect middle school boys with nature, and that's still very strong with us. So every weekend we have I'd say 5 to 8 different trips that are connecting students with the outdoors, whether it's, just cooking some food on a campfire to whitewater rafting, mountain biking, all sorts of really fun stuff. So I think that that's definitely a piece of what you're going to get at Eaglebrook. And then I think the fact that we have such a robust advising program as well. Our advisors, like I said, really do cherish that triangle, but also, make it a priority. That my inbox always gets prioritized by the emails I get from my advisees' parents. So I think that, every school has an advising program, but I think Eaglebrook does it just a little bit differently, which makes it special. And there's probably a half a dozen to a dozen other ones that I'm leaving out, but
that's all right.
We're pretty
Well, hopefully, this has been so great, and I think you've given such a sort of a wonderful opening for parents to learn more about Eaglebrook. If anybody who's watching us now is interested in contacting you to learn more, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, I would say one, really encourage if you're even just thinking about it, take the time and come up and visit us. Again, we have a wonderful campus, but you really get the sense of the culture and kind of the energy on campus once you're here too. So I think that's really important. There's any avenue to get connected with us, whether it's on our website with our online inquiry, emailing our admissions office, or we're also, as you can probably tell from tonight, I like talking about the school. So feel free to pick up the phone and give our office a call and either ask to speak to me or our director, Christopher Loftus. We're happy to chat about what you're looking for your son and how it could potentially be at Eaglebrook.
Awesome. And we'll put all of that information for you in either the comments or in the email that you received this video in. We're so glad to have talked to you today, Karl. It was great to get to know more about Eaglebrook and sort of revisit in my mind my own visits there. And of course, we will look forward to talking to you soon.
Great. Well, thank you again for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.